My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, and good morning. Happy Tuesday. What are we? I think we're September 24th today. You know, man, this year has just flown by, hasn't it? Well, I want to welcome, my name is Joe Carlisle. This is Joe Knows South Lake. I'm so glad to have you here. Got an amazing show for you today. The first thing we're going to talk about today is actually National Voter Registration Day. We have the Supervisor of Elections coming tomorrow to talk about registering and voting and why that's important. We're going to talk today about boring meetings and how accepted that is in culture. We're going to have a Cup of Joe today where we talk about raving fans. And finally, we have today joining us for the interview Keith Whitacre from Legal Shield. And as usual, somebody from our community that what he does only barely scratches the surface. So we're going to tap into some of that. So first, we're going to hear from our sponsors. We love them. Appreciate all of them coming out last night. I also want to point out that we do have a place for premium sponsorship here. You can have your logo here for every single Cup of Joe, or every single Joe Knows South Lake. Boy, I don't even know what my own show is. For every single Joe Knows South Lake. Just reach out to us. You have the contact information. We'd love to see you here. Anyways, going to hear from the sponsors we do have, and I'll be back in a minute.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com. Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Clearmont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
And welcome back. Hey, it's always good to hear from our sponsors. You know, one of our sponsors, Erica's Tea Room, she actually has a show starting this week, Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm really excited to see this show. I've seen some previews of it. That's the advantage to having a show. You can cheat and get little clips before everybody else does. But really excited for this. I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be a big hit in the area. And speaking of the sponsors, we had all of them out last night. For our ribbon cutting. Yes, we are now official in the community and open business. What do you think about that, Jay?
I'm excited, Joe. I'm really excited. I want to thank everybody that did come out to the ribbon cutting yesterday. It was a really fun time, a good event. Pretty decent turnout, I would say. I wasn't sure what to expect. I was told to expect somewhere between 5 and 25 people, and I think someone at some point said that there were about 33 people there, so not bad, especially considering our studio space is very quaint. But we did do tours by like 2 or 3 people at a time, and I think we cycled everybody through. But I was very thankful for the chamber, Shanez, Amanda, everybody over there for helping us put this together and inviting folks. And thank you all to the people who came out there. And I've already kind of put a couple meetings together for later this week, some folks that stopped by and introduced themselves. And we're excited to get out in the community and share what we're trying to do with South Lake TV. It's really good. It's good to finally be official, I guess. And thank you also. I was thanking Joe this morning for everything that Joe's done to help us out. He's been instrumental in us getting a good, strong foundation with Joe Knows South Lake. So very, very appreciative to him.
You got to be careful, Jay. This is a small room. If you make my head too big, neither of us will fit.
I know.
It really was a good time, and we have a great slate of guests coming up. I had a chance to book several people last night and got to some people I had called, made follow-up calls, put me in touch with other people. So the schedule is filling. We've got some amazing people coming on the show. I'm really grateful for everybody that came out. And actually, I don't know if you had this, Jay, but I had a lot of people reach out to me after the fact and just said, hey, good job, and sorry we couldn't be there, but, we are out in Groveland, and, it was 4:30 on a Monday, so it's tough for people to get to. So thank you for everybody that showed. I'm going to talk about voter registration. Today's National Voter Registration Day. Do you understand how important voter registration is? It always seems to be a thing in our country. People talk about the difference between, if somebody loses, they always say it's because the voter rolls are wrong, or somebody got suppressed, or somebody didn't get suppressed, I just want to remind you that it's one of the things that makes America unique, that makes us one of the best places in the world, in the history of mankind, to be able to live. Is the fact that we get to vote. All you have to do is you don't have to be rich, you don't have to own land, you don't have to prove you're a certain education level, you just have to be a citizen. And then you get to take part in the governmental process. I've always found it really, really cool that when you look at countries around the world, power changes here without violence. Well, generally, without violence. Nobody's in the street with machine guns making sure that the right guy takes power. It's an amazing process, and nowhere in the history of man has it ever been duplicated. And countries that duplicate what we do, they do well. Anyways, enough about voter registration. We do have Alan
Hayes.
Alan Hayes. I almost said Alan Grayson. I don't know where that came from. Alan Hayes coming on tomorrow, the Lake County Supervisor of Elections. Looking forward to talking to him. We got some great questions. He's going to walk us through the whole process and everything. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. I want to talk about boring meetings. I have a meeting. I'm a chamber ambassador, and so once a month we meet. And the meeting is not boring. But when I was at the meeting this morning... the hotel, can you see that, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, the hotel put this out, and what is over on this side is actually 4 tic-tac-toe squares, and they actually start each one for you to make it a challenge. And I was looking at this thinking, well, they actually print this on a pad. So they assume that most meetings are going to be so boring. Somebody's going to be playing tic-tac-toe with their neighbor while whoever is... I think that's sad. We need to change our meeting culture. Meetings don't have to be boring. I understand there's business to get done, but man, try to lighten it up. Keep it to the point. Move on. If you don't have anything interesting or fun, get the heck out of there. It's one of the reasons I appreciate the ambassadors. We go to this meeting... We start at 8. We're done by 8:40, 8:45. Quick, easy. And we still have time for visiting and fun and talking in all that time. So get to have some breakfast. Home 2 Suites. I want to reach out to them. They're a great place to meet. They give us coffee. You can get a little bit of breakfast. It's actually a good meeting. Cup of Joe today. Actually, I want to talk a little bit in the Cup of Joe about the ribbon cutting last night. Last night, and the work up to last night, there were people there that came out for the ribbon cutting, and when the ribbon cutting happened, I wasn't sure that we were going to get more than 10 or 15 people. It was a Monday at 4:30. It was hot. People are still kind of swinging into the whole kids back to school thing. And as people started to arrive last night, and even kept arriving after we cut the ribbon. People didn't just run away as soon as the ribbon was done. They kept. Jay's bringing up a video here, I think, at some point, of all the people that were there. And we actually had so many people here at the Hunt Industrial Park. We have this amazing open reception area, and it was too small. We couldn't put everybody in there. We had to put everybody outside to get the ribbon done. And I really appreciate all the people that came out. But it wasn't so much that. It was all the messages of support that I received afterwards. It's easy sometimes when you're getting something started to think I'm beating my head against the wall. And it's just inspirational to realize that it only feels like that. It's perception. It's not necessarily true. And I'm very grateful for all the people who spoke into me and who reached out to me and who were encouragement. And part of the encouragement was, man, you guys are doing amazing. Keep on going. In 6 months, it'll be completely different. I can handle 6 months. I can handle whacking my head. I've whacked my head against the wall on other things for a great deal longer. So that's what I want to talk about, Cup of Joe. The reality is, do you understand that you have fans? This leans into what I talked about yesterday in your circle of love. There are people in your circle of love you don't even know. You're not even aware of. But if you learn to be on the lookout, my friend and author Honore Corder talks about the BOLO. Be on the lookout for the fans and the blessings in your life. And if you're on the lookout, you will find them. I just want to say thank you to all my fans, all my friends, all the people who have come out to be guests, who have agreed to be guests that I haven't yet interviewed. I am looking so forward to the next 6 months to a year. I can't even share with you the fullness of my heart. So thank you. That's the Cup of Joe. So today we'll be talking, when we get back from the commercial break, to Keith Whitacre of Legal Shield. Legal services, and this is kind of an amazing concept. He does some other stuff. Like I said, what he does only scratches the surface of who he is. So we're going to hear from the sponsors. And this is the video. You can see everybody that came out last night, and this, I don't even think that was everybody. We had a lot of people that weren't in the shot. And here we go. It's official. Trying to coordinate a bunch of chamber members to take a picture as Here it comes.
That sun was bright, Joe.
That sun was bright. You could see people in here like Kalina Myers out at Mount Verde, and Dave Colby, president of the chamber, and Keith. There it is. That was it. That was us. We've been open for business. There's Tracy out there from Elevate Lake. Just the people that showed up, I'm always amazed. At any rate, so we'll be back after a word from our sponsors with Keith Whitacre.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Clearmont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
Saturday night, October 5th, Claremont, Florida, get ready as Local Pro Wrestling presents Fight Fest, featuring 6 hard-hitting matches, including the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, against Aaron Epic. In the semi-main event, a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal, and former TNA superstar Mr. 630 Jarrell Clark. And the main event for the evening, former WWF WCW superstar, the Cuban Assassin, takes on the Marquis Bruce Santee. Adult tickets are $15 and children ages 5 to 12 are only $10. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite. For more details, follow us on Facebook at Local Pro Wrestling or visit localprowrestling.com. Come support Local Pro Wrestling live.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
And welcome back. Always good to hear from the sponsors. I would like to welcome to the show Keith Whitacre. Now, I have an honest confession. Welcome, Keith.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I have been trying to get together with Keith to have coffee for a couple of months now. And I actually blew him off once completely by mistake. I was somewhere else and he called me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a bonehead. So I really appreciate his patience. And after talking to him again about some of the stuff he does outside of his occupation, I understand why he was so patient with me. So welcome.
Well, happy to be here. It's great.
Keith, you're in a let me do your intro here. You are the senior associate with Legal Shield Legal Services. You're the organization coordinator for the food providers of South Lake County.
Yes, sir.
And you're the coordinator of the Brown Bag Ministry at the St. Matthias Episcopal Church.
Couple things.
That's a lot of stuff for one guy, man. Let's dive right in. Let's start with the Legal Shield because it seems like it speaks to itself, but tell us what it is. What is Legal Shield?
It's a little misunderstood sometimes, but it is a subscription legal service, so everyone would have access to the legal system. Most folks don't hire a lawyer because it's too expensive. But Legal Shield has a monthly subscription service, month to month, and the average lawyer in the state of Florida is $325 an hour. So with Legal Shield, you get unlimited questions and consultation. You get they'll write letters on your behalf. There's a really cool aspect of it is 24/7 emergency service. So if something happens in the evening, you have to call a lawyer. You can get them on the phone and they'll help you.
So 24/7 service. So like my car. If my car breaks down at 2 a.m, I can call a tow truck or AAA 24/7. So you're saying I get into a jam with somebody. Let's say
somebody hits your car, maybe.
So let's say somebody hits my car, or somebody gets out and there's a road rage instance, and the police have shown up. Okay, I can call a lawyer at 2 a.m.
You can call. They'll wake the lawyer up and they'll talk to him. A couple instances where they said hand the phone to the police officer, says talk to my lawyer. And the lawyer goes, what? You have a lawyer on call? Yes, I do.
Wow.
So, and then if you get a speeding ticket, there's speeding ticket assistance. They'll let you know what your rights are. Many times they're not going to fix the ticket, but they'll hopefully reduce your points or the ticket. That's every judge.
Should you do that during the stop? I mean, when the police officer takes your license, you got to wait till you have the ticket in your hand.
You get the ticket. We actually have an app where you can snap a picture of the ticket. It goes right to the law firm. Within 4 hours, they'll call you and let you know what your rights are.
Wow, you got to like that.
That is really, really
now,
awesome.
is that only effective here in Florida? Is this just a Florida company?
It is all 50 states. That's the other big difference. All 50 states, all areas of law. So it's something. If you're on vacation in Georgia and something happens, you can call your law firm here, and they'll put you in touch with the lawyers in the state of Georgia who will help you with that. They know the judges.
You know, so often we give the association that you're going to need a lawyer because you're in trouble or you've done something wrong, but it's not always the case. You know, you may have run afoul of somebody, and you need to know what your legal rights are. Like you said, if somebody hits you, but if you're in a hotel somewhere and something's happened, you know, you've slipped and fallen. You know, it's something maybe that happened to you, or you know, one of their employees was weird. I remember a story recently of an employee. This guy down in the Bahamas, he's had to go back 3 or 4 times because this guy came in all drugged up and attacked his family, and now he's jammed up. So,
Well, the one thing you can ask them any questions, any part of any legal question at all, and that's the most important thing, to have that reassurance that you can do that. And there's a menu of services, so it'll do wills, it'll do medical directives, and the services that are not covered, there's a 25% discount. No, I don't know of any lawyer that's going to give you a 25%.
so let me ask you this: how does it work? Okay, so like, do I just get like, so you said it's a subscription service? Are there different levels? Is it one price and I get everything? How does it work?
One price for everything for Legal Shield. The way it works, if you have something happens, if it's not an emergency, you would basically you sign up as a member. You'll get the app. On the app, it'll have the number of the law firm. You'll call over and say, "Hey, I have a real estate issue that I want to solve, or I have a question." So, and you would call them. They would take that information, and that lawyer would call you back within 8 hours.
Wow, you're gonna like that.
So that's really cool. And it'll review for you. It'll review real estate, residence contracts, real estate contracts. So who doesn't sign a contract, right? So who doesn't need that? And I would, I don't know the legalese on all of those contracts.
And as a matter of fact, when I'm sitting with a customer, I've taken them out and we're either doing a listing or we've decided to put a contract in on a home. I will sit there and make them look me in the eye, and they joke about it, but it's serious. They look me in the eye, and I say, okay, repeat after me. Joe, you are not a lawyer. Joe, you are not an accountant. And it allows me to have that conversation and say, I can't tell you how this is going to affect your taxes or affect your estate, your ability to do something down the road. I'm here to guide you through a transaction. A lawyer is to guide you through a legal process.
Yes, and that's why you have them read the contract. In the state of Florida, many car dealers have a $1,500 prep fee. If you don't cross that out, you're paying for them basically to wash your car.
Wow.
So you got to be really careful to read the
contract. So you could even if you're buying a car, you could pick them up on the app and talk to them while you're buying a car.
Well, you can send them. They got to review it. It takes them a little bit of time to review like a large document, so you got to give them like 3 days, but that's usually not too bad.
You could delay driving off the lot to save $1,500. I know I could.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Let me ask you this. We've talked about how it works and what it is. Why would I use Legal Shield as opposed to a lawyer? How does Legal Shield stack up to, most guys that have a lawyer on call, they've got anywhere from $1,500 to $10,000 sitting in retainer. You think of that for celebrities or high-end business people.
I think it needs to be affordable. Not only the folks that can't afford it. I can't have a lawyer on a retainer fee. I want somebody I can ask questions about. So Legal Shield's for somebody that needs it for everyday situations, so they can call somebody and not be afraid. I had an issue with my refrigerator. I called it. It broke down, and Samsung didn't want to cover it, and eventually they did. And I had them send a letter to Samsung, so they not only fixed my refrigerator, they fixed my ice tray, and they gave me $200 for my food that I lost. But when you send a letter personally, it goes to customer complaint department. When a lawyer sends it, it goes to the legal department. Big distinction.
Yeah.
So it's really, it makes it affordable for everyone. So not the ones that can afford it.
So go back to the real estate example. I have a customer, just as an example, and this happens quite often in new construction. They want to use their own contract. They don't like using the state form. And then they don't meet sometimes the things they said in the contract.
Yes.
So I have somebody who's going through a struggle with a lender that is the builder's lender.
Oh my
They
gosh.
made promises that they're not now keeping, and they're having to jump through extra hoops. So it sounds to me like I could refer them to Legal Shield.
Yes.
And Legal Shield could go over the whole situation and tell them what their rights are, what they can do to remediate the situation, to fix it, because oftentimes people are just terrified.
I think that's the thing, that they'll go through the contract and they'll say, these are things you should change, these are things you probably should have added, and these are things that you need to discuss.
Now, Legal Shield does something else. We were talking briefly. It's not just law. You said something about identity protection.
Yeah, they have something called ID Shield. So that's identity theft protection. It's in the news. You see, there's been over 80 major breaches this year. So many legal experts have said it's not a matter of if, it's when that your personal information will get out there. So they have what legal separates Legal Shield from the rest of the pack is they have licensed investigators that will work with you until your personal information is back to where it was before. Social media, dark web, all your credit information. So it's really a great service, and it really offers peace of mind, and that's why I have it.
So let me get this straight. It'll help you keep safe, but if you are compromised, they'll even help you get back to where you were.
Exactly. Good paraphrase. Yes, I think you said it exactly. So, we're monitoring. So if something does happen, we get a monthly monitor that says, "Hey, everything's okay," or "Well, we've seen something." So they'll tell you like, "Hey," like when I took out a car loan, it said, "Hey, somebody's looking at your credit," and I was like, "Well, it's good to know that somebody's like that." Or you can tell them like, "Can you have the credit bureaus hold my credit so somebody's trying to take a credit card out on my name?" They'll call me first, like, "No, I'm not taking out a store credit card."
Oh, makes sense. That's safe.
So those kind of things.
So is that service all covered in the Legal Shield, or is it a separate subscription?
It's a separate subscription.
Can you do them together and get a discount? If there's a package?
No, there's not. It's totally separate. Actually, Legal Shield comes in a family, and that's all it comes in. Identity ID Shield comes in an individual or family. So if you have individual, you can do that. So it keeps it a little bit separate. They actually have a ID Shield Plus now that you can get even more coverage, which I have. It's difference between a personal protection of $25,000 to $1 million. So I'd rather have that. Extra.
So I know you have a background with Disney, and you have a background.
My Mickey Mouse tie.
Your Mickey Mouse tie. You have a background in sales and management. How did you get to legal services? Was there something that happened?
It was kind of like a no-brainer to me. It was something that I think it was simple that I can do for a long period of time. You can work at your own pace. It's like realtors. You can work hard as you want or not as hard as you want. I felt that I had the background in sales and sales management. I'm not afraid to talk in front of people, and I like dealing with people, and this is something everybody should have. It's helping people to protect them with their either identity or their legal issues to give them advice that they need day in and day out. So it was a really simple solution for me.
I like the concept of Shield because it really does say something about safety. It lets you pull up. Look, I just want to bring up two things really quickly. We've talked most of our time about Legal Shield,
yes, sir,
which is a good thing, but Keith is actually, both of these other organizations I mentioned, he's heavily involved in helping the
food providers, food pantries in South Lake.
His food coordinator helps the food pantries, but he said something I thought was really cool, and you could just tell the passion in his eyes, that people are what they call food insecure. And that's basically a fear that you're not going to have enough. And it comes from not having enough. So I think it's really cool that those things probably take as much time as your business do.
Sometimes more.
Sometimes more.
That's okay.
I get that. I've done it. So I just wanted to mention it. If you'd like to help Keith in any of those things, you can reach out to him. We're going to put up his contact information right now, Keith. This is your camera here. Tell the folks we have your website up. And so you tell folks how to get in touch with you if they think they need something. I'm sure you got to sit down and consult with people. Do you work with businesses too?
Yeah, I work with groups, businesses, individuals. Yeah,
great.
They're all part of that legal.
So if somebody thinks they need your services, go ahead.
So you can call you can email my website, or you can call my number. You can go right into the Legal Shield website. That'll tell you in plan detail.
I think this is what we have up here on the screen. So guide them through. What are they looking at?
You can walk through, and it can tell you if you wanted to buy Legal Shield. I actually have a little form that says 10 easy steps how to sign up. But you can actually go onto my website, and it's pretty intuitive. But you can go through and you can look at the Legal Shield. You can say, here's the plan detail. You can look at ID Shield. Here's the plan detail. We have plans for businesses. We have plans, even a gun supplement program that if you have gun ownership, and it just lays it out.
Very important.
Real succinctly.
It's funny that you say that because so many gun owners don't think, because they're going to be in their house or they're justified, maybe they're going to be justified if they're called upon to actually use their weapon on a person, and I've joked with people, this concept of, I won't go to prison. No.
You're guilty until proven innocent with the gun.
Yeah, the truth is you may not go to prison, but you are going to go to jail. They are going to arrest you and your life is going to be torn up. You should probably if you own a gun, you should probably have something like Legal Shield on call so you can figure out what's going to happen.
For that, there's
better
actually,
safe than sorry.
Actually, a good supplement to deal specifically with that, and that's what I'd recommend. It's even lower cost than Legal Shield.
All right, great.
It's a supplement to Legal Shield, though.
Great. Thanks, Keith. I really appreciate having you on.
Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, another amazing guest on Joe Knows South Lake. I really, really appreciate having him here. This is so cool. All right, well, we've come to the end of our time. If you know somebody that should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, reach out to me. I'm sure my contact info is coming up, so I don't need to walk through that. If you know somebody who would like to advertise, again, you can reach out to me. We have plenty of sponsorship spots. I have a premium sponsorship spot open. Your logo can be right here for every single episode of Joe Knows South Lake. So reach out to me if you're interested in that. And finally, I'd just like to remind you that there is greatness inside you. Dare to let your greatness out today. Look for your raving fans. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow. And I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake.